Welcome to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Content Development for JGA and also your podcast host. And I am joined today for a very, very special sibling edition of our podcast. It's Sibling Month for JGA, and we thought who better to talk about being siblings than to ask you to be here with us. So we have Savannah Glover, who is here, Sydney's sister. Say that 3 times fast. Izzy Hill is here with us, Poppy's sister, and Leighton Huber is here, who's Hutton's sister. So you guys, thank you for spending some time with me today. This is great.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Yes. So it's going to be really fun. We're just going to chat about your siblings and kind of your experience of being a sibling to someone who is living with Jordan syndrome. So for our listeners who don't know what that's like, for our families who are at home who are wondering, kind of what you guys see on a daily basis, that's what we're going to kind of go through today. So first, I want you guys to tell me all about your siblings. So Savannah, let's start with you. Tell us about Sydney.
Yeah, so my sister is Sydney. She is 20 years old, so she's 2 years younger than me. She right now has a job. She works 4 days a week outside of the home. She drives. She is very high functioning when it comes to having Jordan syndrome. So she's pretty independent. We do live together. She has lived with me ever since she graduated high school. And she's my sister. I don't know.
I love that response though. Like, she's my sister,
Yeah.
like that's what and that's
Right.
You guys get along great.
Yeah, we do now. We didn't know. We
98% of the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leighton, tell me about Hutton. He's
my
a special guy, huh?
yes. My brother, he's 7. He plays around a lot. He goes to his new school. We have a lot of fun playing outside, and
Yeah.
he watches TV, and we do a lot of stuff together. Like we take walks. Yeah, we.
You make his world go round, I think, because to see him sitting there and then you walk in the room, I mean, you light up his whole face. So I feel like you're his person, right? How do you feel about that?
I think it's fun being his.
Yeah, he's just the cutest. He's just the cutest. You guys together are so fun. Izzy, tell me about Poppy, because to know Poppy is to love her. Tell me all about your sister.
So Poppy's 14. She's 2 years older than me. She goes to a special needs school called North Florida School of Special Education. She's really fun and caring. She loves everyone she meets and usually greets them with hugs.
Which is the best, those hugs from Poppy are so much fun. So, what do you love most about your sister, Izzy?
Definitely the way she cares for people and she can understand people's emotions very well.
Yeah, I think you're so right. It's there's an empathy there that's really very sweet, huh?
Yeah.
Leighton, how about you? What do you love most about Hutton?
I love when we like play around together and how he's so energetic.
I love that.
Yeah.
He has a lot of excitement to give. There's just so much he wants to tell you.
Yeah.
Savannah, I feel like you are living with Sydney, right? So many of our families hope for that someday, right? Like they hope that siblings get along, you can take care of each other, you can be there for each other. I mean, you are it's just a different kind of relationship in that way, and you guys are older too. But let's talk about that a little bit, because obviously, like, for our families who are watching, hoping, thinking, what's this been like for you to be living under the same roof for this long too?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, Sydney moved in with me right after she graduated high school. And our dynamic has changed in some ways from when we were younger, living at home together to now, but it stayed the same in a lot of ways too. Um, I feel like I have a bigger role in her life now. Not as like I'm not her caretaker. I don't manage her. Like she can do that stuff her on her own, but I feel like I just help provide structure for her,
Mhm.
which I think has been super beneficial. So it's nice because we still do have a sister relationship where we can talk and we bicker and all that normal stuff, but then I also can help with certain things that she might need help with, like just the structure, like you know, knowing when to do something around the house or like I don't know if she just has like a question that maybe I'm definitely not her parent, but if
No.
like a parent role she might be able to ask, like I'm just very accessible to her. So I
Mhm.
feel like that's been helpful for some of those things that have
Yeah.
come up with not living with your parents anymore.
Right. Exactly. You kind of provide her that stability, and
Right.
somebody who's there for her on a regular basis. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that, in a lot of ways, it's the hope. It's like the perfect scenario because you know that she's safe.
Yeah.
Your parents know that she's safe too.
Mhm.
But yet she's living on her own too and has that freedom to be able to do what she
Exactly.
wants.
Exactly. It definitely like she would not have enjoyed living with my parents for the rest of her life. Like she wanted some independence. When she was done with high school, she was ready to move out and ready to kind of spread her wings a little bit. But I feel like it was a very safe stepping stone for us to move in together. So she got some of that independence without like totally just being thrown in the deep end of living on your own.
Right. Because in and of itself, that's a whole nother another ball game. But
Exactly.
I think too that it should be noted, like kudos to you for saying, yeah, like come move in with me.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
a hard decision or easy decision?
No, it really wasn't. I have thought about her living with me for a long time. It just felt like kind of a natural thing. And my mom is great and very, very involved, and she does so much for Sydney. So I knew it's not like I'm like going to be taking over the mom role for her. So just being like that extra person for her, I enjoy that. And no, it just works out really well for us. So
It's perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. So I guess you're talking with stability and going through the day to day, you kind of have to talk about too the what's it like to live with someone who is impacted by Jordan syndrome on a daily basis. So the good and the bad and the things that happen and the changes that come. Izzy, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, what do you think? Because it's obviously hard to live. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that happen. So do you see that on a daily basis?
Yeah, so like sometimes Poppy can go from like really happy and then like one little thing happens and it like ruins like her whole day or like it's a part of her day and she gets like really upset about it and stuff. And then sometimes she can have like just a really bad day
Mm-hmm.
and it's just really not good. But then sometimes like days are really good and then the next day it turns out to be like a really bad day.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
makes
kind
it
of like
hard.
off and on.
Yeah. How have you had to manage that as a sibling? Do you find that you do something special for her to help make that better?
Yeah. Sometimes like she'll ask me to like do her hair or her makeup or something, and that usually cheers her up. So I usually do that because she
I
gets
love it.
really happy when I do stuff like that for her. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I usually.
I love it. That's the best. Leighton, I think the same thing kind of happens with Hutton, right? He has a good day, he has a bad day. Sometimes you got to kind of try to manage that and it can affect your whole day.
Yeah.
What's that like for you? Because you know that sometimes it's going to be good and sometimes it's going to be not so good.
So usually my brother, same thing that happens with Poppy, she'll get like he'll get sad and then he'll turn happy again, but then it will also like do something to the rest of his day. And what I usually do to help that, I will like shoot the basketball with him outside,
Mhm.
and me and my mom will like feed him and like let him watch him the TV because I usually he calms him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's perfect because you guys know the ways to kind of help to make it better, and you can kind of smooth the rough edges. Is there pressure as a sibling to kind of perform at a different level? And Savannah, maybe you can touch on this too, to be able to, that your siblings maybe aren't going to be able to do certain things. And maybe it's different in Sydney's case, with, the way that she's living her life. But is there a pressure to love bigger, do more? What's that like for you?
I think I put a pressure on myself to encourage Sydney. I think I'm hard on Sydney because I love her and I want her to do the absolute most that she can in her life, and I want to push her to do things that I know she can do, and she can do them. So I feel like I put that pressure on myself sometimes to help her succeed in those ways. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I don't, it's not like pressure anyone else puts on me though.
Yeah, it's not a negative from the outside. It's
Yeah.
Like you feel like you want to do something for her in that
Yes.
way. Yeah.
Yes.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Leighton, I'll ask you the same question too. Do you feel like you have to love bigger, like love more and show how much, try harder? Does that make sense? Are you trying to, you're nodding. So I think so.
So, like for my Mother's Day, I'll like try to get my mom more and like bigger stuff because I know that my brother can't help that. He can't do anything about it because he like can't give because he doesn't know.
Right.
And also in like other sports, since my mom and my dad, like they love basketball, so they can't watch Hut play it. Sometimes they can though. So I try harder and do better in my games so they get, the stuff they're looking for.
Yeah. You're trying to supplement in that way too. Man, you guys are a special group of people. Oh my gosh. Izzy, do you find that too? Because I know that, you have your own interests and also, Poppy's doing her own thing. But do you find that you want to do that? You want to do more?
I wouldn't say that there's like that much pressure, but I'd say that Poppy's definitely helped me be more caring and stuff and like be a more loving person.
Yeah.
So I think she's helped me more than like pressuring me.
Yeah.
Do
I
better.
love that. Yeah. What's it like for you guys when you come to like the JGA conferences, or if you're at a fundraiser or a gala of some kind? What's it like to meet members of this community? Leighton, I know that you got to come to the family conference recently. You got to meet other siblings. Like, what's it like when you get to go and do that?
I think it's really fun, and I think it's cool to see other kids that are like Hut and to meet them. And also, there's a bunch of things that you can do with other kids and yourself, and you see your brother happy because he's like with his people.
Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest parts. What else are you gonna say?
Oh no, that's it.
Yeah, I think it's so true because you get to see them just thriving with their community too. Savannah, you've been at some of the fundraisers to watch like the community learn about it too. And to see everybody come together, it's pretty special.
Yeah, seeing everyone come together is super special. Seeing how resilient all the people, all the families are, it's so amazing. It's so inspiring. It's been a while since I've been to an in-person fundraiser. But just keeping up with people, like even on Facebook, the families, and you really get to know some of these people and know their stories, and they're so inspiring, just what they go through on a daily basis, and they just keep chugging along. It's amazing.
The connections are incredible. And Izzy, your family, your dad and your mom will go to the ends of the earth to to do these fundraisers and run and bike ride and the whole nine. So what's that been like for you to see that?
I mean, it's really cool how like my dad has been like biking and stuff and for like miles and stuff to fundraise, and he's got like his work to like double the money or something like that. Mm-hmm. So he can earn even more. And yeah, I think it's really cool that he does that.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. This community is something else. I mean, we're so lucky to be part of this huge community and be able to do all these things and watch everybody do it all. I love it. As you look toward the future, uh, Savannah, do you worry about Sydney?
I do. I think it's normal. I mean, I think you worry whether you have a special sibling or not. You worry about members of your family. Um, I worry, like I said earlier, I think I push Sydney. I really want her to um be the best person that she can be, whatever that means to her. But I worry that sometimes maybe I push too much and I don't want to push her to do something that she's going to fail at.
Mm-hmm.
So while I would love to see her like live on her own one day, if that's something that she wants to do, um, I worry that if that happened and then it didn't go well, I would worry about the repercussions of that. So just like overextending and maybe her doing too much and failing at something, I worry about that and how that would impact her.
Yeah. Izzy, do you worry about Poppy?
A little, but I feel like as I get older, I will a little more because we'll both get older and I don't know what she's gonna do like after high school and stuff like that, like where she's gonna go or if she's gonna have a job or like where she's gonna live.
Yeah.
So probably like more when I get older.
Yeah. And the good news is your parents have a plan for those things. You know, like most of our community has figured out ways to plan for the future as well. I want to talk a little bit about like your own relationships with your friends. You bring your friends over to the house, they come to play. Leighton, your mom was mentioning this earlier too, like, you know, you have friends come to the house and Hutton's there. And what's that experience like? Are you protective of him? Do you want them to interact with him? How does that work?
So when my friends come over, my brother like loves people, so he'll bring them outside and play basketball with them. But I think I'm not really worried about the safety because I know he won't do anything bad. It's just sometimes like when me and my friends are trying to play, he'll grab them and I try to stop him, but that's really it. But sometimes my other friends that I'm not very close to with, they'll come and they'll be like, "Can you like tell him to be quiet?" And I'm like, I can't because he won't understand. So also I'm like very precaution about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to make sure that he's included and that I think you're incredible about that, making sure that there's that, you know, he's able to be a part of things as well. Do you find the same thing, Izzy, with Poppy? Like, you know, you have friends over. Does she want to hang out too?
Yeah, she does usually want to hang out, and I'm not really worried about like my friends' interaction because like I already like introduced them to Poppy, like I talk about her before they come over and stuff like that. So like all of my friends already know about her and they like love her. So I'm not really worried about
I love that. The friend groups expand, right? There's so much to say about each one of your siblings, right? These are big personalities in these really special people that I feel so lucky to have met each one of your siblings, right? And lots of people in our community have done that too. But for those who are listening who haven't met them yet, I want to hear from each one of you, like, what is it that you wish that people knew about your sibling? So, Savannah, let's start with you and Sydney. What do you wish people knew about her?
How kind her heart is, and she just always is so sensitive and how others are feeling, and she's so caring. And she's a very kind person. And she's also just unapologetically herself, and I love that about her. Whether that's serving her in the situation or not, she's gonna do what she wants, and I think that's awesome.
It's refreshing, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
it's real, and
Very
like
real.
it or not, it is, you get it all.
Mhm. Exactly.
I love it. It's a beautiful thing. I wish we could all be more, that way. It's very fresh. Izzy, what do you want other people to know about Poppy?
Well, I'd say how caring and loving she is, but like a lot of people already know that. So I'd also say that she's like underestimated and that she can do more stuff than people actually think she can. Because like when they take a look at Poppy, they like think that she can't really do that much stuff, but she can. Like she's capable of doing things.
You can do all kinds of things. I mean, truly. Leighton, same thing for you. What do you wish people knew about Hutton?
About how like fun he is to be with and how energetic and caring he is.
I love that. I mean, these are some special, special people. I want to finish today, and first of all, I want to say thank you because I know these are tough questions, and you're having to you look at all kinds of things, right? So I want to say thank you for spending some time and for talking it through and giving us kind of a window into what your life is like as a sibling to someone living with Jordan syndrome. But I always try to end these podcasts with a message for our community or for those who are listening outside of our community who maybe don't know a lot about Jordan syndrome or JGA. And I guess this one is special because in talking to the three of you as siblings, I want to hear from you about, do you want your siblings to be treated a certain way? What is it that you want people to know who are listening maybe for the first time? So I know it's a long question, but what's your message for those on the outside listening to this that maybe don't know everything about our community too? So Izzy, I'm going to start with you on that.
I'd say that sometimes people with Jordan syndrome can come off like strong and have like big personalities and stuff. But if you like get to know them, then they can be like really like a really good friend. You could definitely be friends with them and stuff. And I think they're just really kind and amazing.
Yeah, really incredible people. You're right. Leighton, to you. What do you think? What do you want others to know about members of our community, about your brother?
I'm wait, I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
No, it's good. So for people who are listening, who don't know much about JGA or about Jordan syndrome, who do you want your sibling to be treated a certain way? What's your message for them?
That kids with Jordan's guardian angels, with Jordan's syndrome can be really fun and that they should treat others like the right way. But there is no certain way you should treat each other, but just to be nice and that kids with Jordan syndrome are energetic, fun, and caring and super sweet. And that you should like not judge a book by its cover.
Yep. I love it. And Savannah, I'll wrap up with you. What's your message?
Yeah, I just hope that people would treat people with Jordan syndrome with compassion and patience, and to be open-minded and, like it was already said, not underestimate the things that they can do.
There's so much. This community is so special. It's growing on a daily basis. And to hear from the three of you as siblings who are part of families who have been here for the long haul with JGA, I really hope that this is helpful for other siblings and for other families who are out there. I think your message of positivity is amazing. So thank you three so much. Please give your siblings a hug from me. And I appreciate it more than you know. And I hope we can do this again. We are so looking forward to having more siblings together at our in-person conferences and being able to have sib shops and just in general, having everybody together to interact and have some fun. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it more than you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys were awesome. You're awesome. For those of you who are listening and have not heard our other podcasts, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google, on our website, jordansguardianangels.org, and also on YouTube for translation services. So you can check all of our podcasts out there. There are lots of them that are JGA and Jordan's Guardian Angels and Jordan syndrome specific and everything else in between. So check us out and Thank you. Thank you all again so much. I appreciate it. And we'll be back soon with another podcast too. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.